this video, um, again continuing Project 5, Illustrator, gradients appear to be a pretty popular way of illustrating floor areas. We're going to create a layer, a couple new layers. We're going to say floor 1, which will be the larger floor area, and then why not a second floor area called floor 2 would be the lower floor area, the one that's a 6-inch step beyond. Theoretically, we could do separate ones because there's probably separate material in the bathroom as well, but no matter. So the first thing you want to do when you define a gradient, let's go ahead and open the gradient window, which shows up the different, and I'm going to close some of these windows so to avoid confusion. We don't need any glyphs right now. We're not transforming paths. We'll leave the color and swatches up there because we may veil ourselves, and we're not doing anything with characters. So the first thing you want to do is be aware of the layer that you're on. Let's go to floor 1. So that'll be our active layer. And you want to create a shape into which you're going to draw your gradient, or color, or whatever it is that you wish to fill. So let's select the rectangle tool and start by blocking out a rectangular area. And we're just going to do a simple one up to about where this pilaster is. Okay, so having created that rectangle, and we know that rectangle is on that floor level, we're going to assign a fill color to it. Actually, let's select from our palette here, which has some more subtle, attractive tints, like green. As you may know, green is the color of the year. We'll do a little story on that at some point. So we have green assigned to this, and if I look at gradients here, if I want to apply the gradient, we can choose between a linear gradient and a radial gradient. And we can also choose to start and end colors in this gradient slider. So if I want to select one of these greens, I can simply drag that color over to my gradient, and the gradient slides from a white to green. Right? That layer, of course, is drawing on top of everything else, so I probably want to put it underneath my original drawing so it appears in the background. Right? If we want to expand that shape, we can modify the properties of that rectangle to be larger. Right? We can add a second rectangle and group those shapes together here. Let's go ahead and go to floor 2. Select a different color to start with for that. Let's say that we wanted that lower floor area to have a different gradient. I'm going to select the rectangle tool and go ahead and draw a rectangle that will cover that area. Now I'm drawing on top of everything right now, so we want to modify that gradient to have a different color. Let's choose this sort of brownish earth tone and place that into, well, let's get something a little more earthy. And encourage you to play with options with respect to these. Once you've placed it, you can move that layer beneath the other layer. You could start with that layer on the bottom, but it's just as easy to see what we're doing here. If I want to modify the scope of that gradient, I simply select the rectangle, click the gradient tool, and I can drag, if it's a radius, I can drag the extent to that so we get a more subtle gradient by enlarging the radius of that. I'll stop here and having finished the floors and come back and start another video.